Good evening, friends. Myself, Dr. Nidhi Darbari, on My Education Treasure. Today, in my present video, I am going to discuss about the explanation skill of micro teaching. According to Einstein, if you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough. Teaching is not primarily telling, it is helping other people to learn. That means the focus is on the learner, not the teacher. People learn best through experiencing something themselves. So, when you are striving to teach something, you are constantly striving to get into the shoes of the learner so that you can better understand where they are and what they need from you to learn the subject under study. The whole class is not a homogeneous group. Some students are intelligent, some have normal intelligence, and some are matured. But it is the duty of the teacher to impart knowledge to all. At the core of a great teacher's skill is the ability to explain the concepts, theories, and techniques that make up their subject. To present the subject matter in the simplified form before the students and making it acquirable is called the skill of explanation. It is necessary in all the subjects. In its absence, the presentation of the subject matter is not possible. In the skill of explanation, such words are used in the statements by which the statement exhibit the clarity of their meaning. On the reputational scale, there is no doubt that teachers who explains things well, making the complex simple, score highly as great teachers. Explanation is a key skill. Explanation is to explain or to give understanding to another person. It leads from known to the unknown. It bridges the gap between a person's knowledge or experience and new phenomena, and it may also aim to show the interdependence of phenomena in a general stable manner. It assists the students to assimilate and accommodate new data or experience. According to Phantom, explanation forms a kind of bridge between telling and revealing knowledge of the lesson, and it involves a number of techniques as well as narrative and description. Skill of explaining. Explanation implies making ideas, concepts, events, and actions clear. Explanation is more difficult than making factual statements or reports. In the classroom setting, sometimes the student needs more help than the teacher renders in order to understand a fact, concept, or generalization. Sometimes, when a word is removed from the statement, it becomes vague. The explanation serves two purposes: to introduce the subject by giving some background about its usefulness and application, and to describe the subject in a simple, complete, and tantalizing way. The explanation should create a desire to become proficient in the subject under study. Explanation is that technique in which every idea regarding the content is made clear. In other words, explanation is that technique in which a difficult thing is simplified. By explanation, every problem, confusion, and difficulty of the lesson are analyzed and explained in such a simple language that every student may pick up easily. Thus, explanation technique is used in factual and informative lesson. In other words, explanation technique is used in the following ways: by acting, explaining the difficult words by acting; using in a sentence, use difficult words in a sentence; stating synonyms, explaining the difficult words by such simple words which carry the same meaning. Stating opposite words. Difficult words are interpreted by telling opposite word of the difficult word. By analysis. Difficult words are explained by analyzing. By telling origin. To clarify the words by telling the origin. By defining. To explain by defining the words. Explanation can be descriptive, interpretative, or reason making. A descriptive explanation describes the process, structure, or procedure of phenomena, generalization, or principle. For instance, how does a hand pump work, or how is hydrogen gas prepared, require descriptive explanation. An interpretative explanation specifies the central meaning of the concept, generalization, or phenomena. For instance, what is magnetism? Why are earthquakes caused? The teacher gives reason, giving explanation, and specifies the reason for the occurrence of a phenomena, event, or the basis of a principle. Precautions for explanation. In every subject, there are some topics which need less explanation by the teacher, and there are a few topics which are rather difficult, require more explanation by the teacher. Thus, there are peculiar situations in teaching where the teacher is expected to explain well. A teacher has to learn the skill of explanation in order to make the students understand many ideas, concepts, or principles which need explanation. While using the explanation technique of teaching, the teacher should keep the following precautions in mind. The explanation should not be complicated, lengthy, and small according to the objectives of the lesson. An unnecessary long explanation makes the lesson dry, uninteresting, and boring. Very short explanation does not explain enough. It should be relevant, proportionate, and limited so that the interest of the students may be maintained. The purpose of explanation is achieved only when its language is simple, correct, and in clear language. Use of difficult words make explanation a failure. Various techniques like narration, description, and questioning should be included in explanation. Full cooperation should be sought from the students. The teacher should encourage questions from the students during the explanation and at the end. He should repeat whatever the students fail to understand. Things mentioned as part of the explanation should be available to the students so that they can experience them. An explanation is really complete only when the students' doubts on the subject have been finally resolved. The style of the teacher should be interesting to the students. He should have complete knowledge of the subject matter. In its absence, the explanation would be erroneous and irrelevant. Irrelevant things should not be included in the explanation. The environment should be natural. It should not be intended to be a sermon. It should aim at assisting the students to understand. It should not be given the shape of an advice. The teacher should carry on maximum explanation in higher classes and minimum in lower classes. Before explanation, all the confusion should be eliminated. The explanation should suit the subject and the occasion. It should be according to age, experience, and mental level of the students. The thoughts included in explanation should be in a sequence. The style of explanation should be clear and interesting. Proper references should be given to the students for supplementary reading. If you found the video to be informative and interesting, I request you all to please give a like to the video to motivate me, share it with others, and subscribe it so that whenever I upload a new video, you will get a notification. Explanation should be started when the students are absorbed in the lesson and they are very curious. Some teachers tend to explain words, sentences, and incidents which require no explanation, which is wasteful. The teacher must be judicious in choosing what must be explained. Excessive explanation is the temptation which the good teacher must guard against. Very frequently, the teacher is tempted not merely to explain something but to give the student a comprehensive idea of the student's own knowledge, with the result that the teacher, instead of explaining anything, takes a test of the student's patience. Explanation, if necessary, must be brief, relevant, and precise. Explanation should be forthcoming from the teacher as and when they are necessary. A series of explanation leaves the student in utter confusion because he is not aware of what is being explained. Avoiding explanation when it is actually required is equally unfair because this fails to resolve the student's doubt and difficulties. The explanation which does not help the students in understanding the subject can be called useless. Thank you very much for patiently watching the video and don't forget to subscribe.